damn, homie, here we go again. I know I said it before, but I'ma say it again. It's G-Lew, D West on that digital G shit. Just like Corrupted, we coming to freak this. Just like Heathcliff, I'm a cool cat. In a doggy-dog world, why must I be like that? I don't know why, seems I gotta stay fly. And after so many years in the game, I'm still that guy. All these haters try, but they still can't see G. Started from the bottom, now I stand like 6 feet tall. Couldn't wait my chance to ball. Went from banging in the halls to slanging 8 balls. Then I got the call. It's time to take this shit to another level, so I had to fall back. Now I'm on track to be the hood's best ever. And I knew in due time shit would get better. Now I'm on the grind like 20 years later. 20 albums deep and I'm 20 times greater. D West on the beat and I'm on a crossfader. This is how it's supposed to sound when you a player. And that's how you supposed to frown when you a hater. Looking all mad cause you fucked off your paper. While I'm looking suave like Tony. Another one. Yeah. G-Lew.
G-Lew Show Reunion 2023. Meet and greet. We live in Beverly Hills, baby. You already know how we go.
Keep it real with me, I keep it real with you. It's just another platinum hit from your boy G-Lew. We got some ladies coming through, we going back to the 80s to have some fun in the sun and act crazy. I ain't wanna do it, but the track just made me. The 808 hit different when you be faded. DJ Maniac back to make a statement. Big G-Lew, it's a fact, you can't fade him. We still trading more stories like Pop, but too big to see that this shit won't stop. If you take it from the top, then it's the shit that I can touch on. 1989 was the year that I got put on. 6 days later, same street that I got bust on. For what fast now, I get the fuck on. Hey, what up, hoes? Where the fuck you from? The city of the bricks where the shit gets dumb. LA Northeast to the SG slums. Back in the 80s, it was all about having fun. It was all good till somebody grabbed the gun. Then them shots rang out and everybody had to run. Shut the party down cause someone caught the blues. Next morning, hear the story reported by King News. The 80s was crazy, even the Valley had it cracking. 20 years later, they saying Cali is active. But the fact is, everything's real. You can live or let die. You can try getting killed. I was raised in the battlefield, trained to go. I ain't really wanna bang, but they made me so. I had to go be the best that I could be. Learn the game on my own. I ain't had no big homie show me nothing. Everything I got it hustling. Whether it was rapping, jacking, or even busting. Ain't no discussion. Well, check it out. Welcome back to the G-Lew Show. Friday night, after hours interview night. And tonight we got a special guest. Got the homie ER-1, straight out of San Fernando. Dude has an interesting story. First and foremost, he loves music like me. We're going to talk about some music, talk about what he does. A little brief overview about the homie ER-1. He is ER-1 Erwin Mojica. His AKA is I Ain't New to This. That's his tag on IG as well. I ain't new to this. Hold on, let me see. Hold on 1 second. You put my lokes on so I can see what I'm saying. Okay, there we go. Welcome everyone to the show. Like I said, Mr. Eric Mojica. I Ain't New to This is his tag on IG. His talent, what he does, he's an old school hip hop blogger, social media content creator, photographer, and video editor. He was born and raised in San Fernando. Currently working on a calendar for his truck club, constantly making content on his social media pages. His passion is music, old school hip hop, golden era 90s, big on West Coast hip hop. Much love to the ESO as well. Loves the boom bap and the Miami bass. Also late 80s, 90s R&B, modern rock, flashback, new wave classic, and Spanish rock. His other passion is photography, all kinds of photography, but mainly automotive, landscape are his favorites. And he likes his inspiration is Esteban Oriol, the famous photographer, legendary photographer, director, Joker brand and Soul Assassins,
He's a true artist and iconic street photographer. Yes. Favorite musician is Dr. Dre, hands down. With DJ Quick. DJ Quick a close second. Favorite genre is G-Funk gangster rap. But he loves the golden era. So, like me, homie. Hobbies are photography again, music, vlogging. He's a member of a truck club that he used to be the ex-president. Now he's just the media team. Recently became FAA certified drone pilot. Wow, this guy has a lot going on. I can't say it like he can. So let me just bring in my special guest. The homie is here. ER-1. What up, homie?
What up, bro? How are you?
I was talking
nice
to
meet you.
Nice to meet you too, bro. But I was trying to like put it all out there. But I'm gonna let you speak for yourself, man. Talk to me, bro.
Yeah, man. First of all, thanks for having me. I was shocked, but I'm just this little guy from the San Fernando Valley trying to make some noise with my truck club through whether it be music or my videos or my photography. I just like to represent hard where I'm from.
That's right. Tell us about San Fernando, man. Growing up in San Fernando, I grew up in a little bit in San Gabriel Valley down the way. But tell us about San Fernando Valley.
San Fernando. Back in the day, I don't know. I'll just say, back in the day it was kind of hard to find people that was into hip hop the way I was.
Right.
Especially in San Fernando,
right.
Everybody looked at me sideways when I was like, but little by little, the town has some massive history. I'm lucky to be from San Fernando. There's a lot of good stuff coming from San Fernando, and I always rep it. We're just sort of our own little thing out here, you know what I mean? But much love to Pacoima, Canoga Park, Sylmar, that whole area. The San Fernando's been, cracking for years, but I want to say just sort of quiet. Los Angeles gets all the highlight and the big time lights. But no, man, we've been making noise out here too. So quietly, I just do my thing. I keep it true. And here I am on your show, bro. Just really minding my own business. So it's kind of nice that you took notice.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shout out to my producer, DD Hairston, too, who's on.
Yeah, man, she's great.
Yeah, she's great. Shout out to DD. Tell us about, like you said, a little bit of background about San Fernando, but how you maybe a quote unquote fell in love with hip hop. And I don't even want to say hip hop because I know you spoke of like a lot of genres, like me when we come up, listen to it all. You know what I mean? But tell us love for the music.
I remember, my first. So music speaks to my soul. It's just different, music just talks to me differently. When someone talks about music and then I just turn around and I'm like, yeah, what about this and this? And they look at me like, whoa, slow down. I do too much.
Right.
But, so it started I want to say my first, when I first heard something that moved me, it was, not Breakin', it was Beat Street. Melly Mel Beat Street. Good Lord. That was like, I was a kid, man. I don't know how. I was young. I was in elementary school, but I was like, whoa, what the hell's that? And then, me and my buddies, we would lay the cardboard down and, we're breaking and doing all that shit, breakdancing. But yeah, anyhow, fast forward to my buddy's house, and then his older brother was into Run DMC. And, and I'd go over and I'd hear that. And I go, man, that's pretty dope. And then I remember we went camping. And he took the second album. It was King of Rock. And I was like, okay, my attention was there, but I was still too young. I didn't think, that I don't even know where to buy it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then fast forward a little bit more, we're playing in an alley. We had a basketball makeshift. We built it ourselves. So we're playing basketball, and my buddy jumps out. He lived in the back, and he jumps over with his boombox. And he's playing Beastie Boys. He's playing Brass Monkey. I'll never forget that shit. And
License to Ill album.
Yes, License to Ill. And he's playing Brass Monkey. And I'm like, what the hell is that? And it was just basically, play that again. I must have made him play it over and over, a few times. So he was like, dude, just go get the bootleg yourself down at the laundromat. It was like $2 back then or whatever it was.
Right.
So I went and caught myself a bootleg Beastie Boy License to Ill, along with Run DMC, Raising Hell. And that was it, man. Like, next thing you know, I'm buying Fat Boys. I think I bought their third album first, Big and Beautiful. But then I went back and bought Fat Boys Are Back, Fat Boys, I bought Run DMC, I bought everything. I mean, I went nuts. And since then, you know, K-Day was like, it came in like shit out here in the Valley.
So you had a bad reception out there with the K-Day? You know, it hit different. You had a bad reception out there?
Terrible.
Oh.
But, you know, we would listen to it. Yeah, we would make it happen. You know, and then I started working at Magic Mountain, and we'd listen to K-Day the whole way there, the whole way back. You know, Dr. Dre, Tony G, the OG Mixmasters, Ralph M, the Mexican. Man, so my roots are deep, you know, in hip hop, and it just resonated with me differently. And as I got older, you know, I started making cassette mixtapes. You know, eventually mixed into CD mixtapes, and I'm slanging mixtapes. Yeah, I'm no one, bro, but I just have a passion for music, you know, and I have an ear for it, and I know what's good.
Who would you say, going back to the DJs, Mixmaster DJ, like that was legendary? Like you said on K-Day, Friday nights, I think they would have live on Friday.
Traffic Jam.
Yeah, or they would be whatever at a skating or wherever remote
Skateland.
At Skateland.
Yeah.
But who would you say was maybe, because you got into DJing, who would you say was your most DJ that inspired you the most?
You see, so that's the thing. I never became a DJ. I was more like a producer in that sense. However, the DJ, man, that spoke to me, well, Dr. Dre, you know, he you know, whether an engineer, a producer, a rapper, I mean, that guy always, he was on another level. I mean, you know, the story's been told, but I'll mention Joe Cooley. Joe Cooley was, he still is.
I would say even from other DJs, I hear the praise for Joe Cooley the most. Him and probably Tony G. It's always like even your favorite DJ puts them at the top.
Yes,
Joe Cooley and Tony G.
Tony G, way up there. I mean, way. That man is, you know, a blessing to hip hop. And I want to say a little unsung too. You know, I want to say people don't realize how much that man has done for hip hop. You know, it's a shame, but you know,
he doesn't. I mean, he deserves more flowers, but he doesn't speak. You know, he's low key. But like you said,
that's a humble guy. You know, he doesn't need to speak. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, you know, like everything else, once he passes, and it'd be like, yo, I didn't know he made this. I didn't know he did that. But yes, sir, he still does a lot.
Man is and also I got to give a shout out. He's younger, but he had a real big impact. Julio G as well, man.
Yeah, no, definitely.
He is one of my favorites, man. And the impact
he was an OG Mixmaster too. And you know, he's doing this thing with Cypress Hill. No, definitely the Tonys. And then we can't forget Tony A. Tony A.
Wizard
from, you know, Scandalous Records with, you know, High C and yeah, man. Yeah, Tony the Wizard. And then he's got his own show too. But yeah, man, no. Man, it's all love. I can't believe I'm on your show, bro.
Let me ask you this. Speak on that, and not to even get political, but I just want you to speak, because all these people we just spoke on were Hispanic or Latin. Tell us what, because, you know, not to say they don't get the credit. In LA they do, but maybe abroad, like the credit or like what Latinos have put into hip hop, like you know what I mean? Because just like even those people we just mentioned are real important people. You know what I mean? Kind of speak on what you know, their footprint in hip hop that doesn't get appreciated.
You're right. It doesn't. Well, you know, in LA, I want to say that it's pretty clear now. And and we you know, they get their props, but no, for sure, you know, you don't realize, like, wait, whoa, Tony G produced that. Even you know, shoot, I mean, you want to, you know, your old school hip hop artists, a lot of them were Puerto Rican, or, you know what I mean? They had a lot of Latin roots. Latin has been part of hip hop forever. And you know what though? I was part of hip hop before I knew that. You know, Public Enemy was talking to me. I didn't know shit. And Public Enemy's teaching me things, you know what I mean? And it's sort of like, but I just know it was different. I loved it. You know, I couldn't get into, look, most of my friends were into NXS and, you know, like this rock stuff. And, you know, and I was like the only Latino in this junior high that I went to, because I was in the magnet program. So then my mom ships me off to, you know, I could have been with my friends down the street in San Fernando, but now I'm in Granada Hills and Porter High. Right. But, you know, all these, but I still resonated to hip hop. And you know, I always just sort of like, it is what it is, you know.
But you
And
play,
then you find out later on that Latinos have so much to do with it, and it was like, oh, hey, that's refreshing, you know what I mean? Because you know we do. It's sort of, you know,
some
same
of the
struggles.
best DJs I knew coming up were Latino dudes. You know what I mean? Like, and like you just said, I don't know. It's just the way we came up then. That's what we had, and we were
Yeah.
all. I mean, it wasn't none of that. We all came up loving the same shit, bro. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Hip hop happened to be a big part of it. That was just a way of life.
Yeah, and hip hop wasn't respected back then. You know, people now don't realize when it first came out, it had no respect. The Fat Boys had mega hits,
Fat
right?
Boys hard. They don't
all over the radio, and no respect. I think their first video on MTV might have been Wipeout or something. That was their 4th album.
Yeah, that's,
you know what I mean. It's
commercial by Wipeout. That, I mean, not, you know, their brand, but they had a lot way before. Wipeout was, you know, that was the one with the Beach Boys, right?
Yes, and that came way later.
Hey, yeah, that was way later. Yeah,
yeah, like, and then he did the twist with Chubby Checker.
Yeah.
You know, but I always mention the Fat Boys because I want to say they don't get the recognition that they deserve. Right. You know, when Prince Marky D R.I.P. just passed, man, that was rough. Oh, you know, there's a lot of them who you know, that have passed away recently that are just like, good Lord, you know, it just makes you feel old.
Yeah. Losing a lot of people. Shout out to the Fat Boys. Rest in peace to Marky D and Big Buff. I know.
Oh yes, sir.
He is still.
Yeah, I saw a video of Kool Rock Ski celebrating the 50th anniversary of hip hop somewhere, and he put it down, and it was like, whoa! I haven't seen that guy in years. You know, I look for him, and you just don't see him. So that was dope.
Speaking on this 50 years of hip hop, what do you think about everything so far? Because there's been a lot going on, a lot of good stuff. Hip hop is getting some love this year more than ever. You know, what do you think about 50 years?
I love it. I love it. You know, I see Nas making up with people. You know, I gotta admit something. I did not like Nas. I didn't like a lot of East Coast. Well, look, I grew up golden era, right? So it was all love for everything. You probably feel me on this. And then, you know, and you remember West Coast would have hits and no love from anywhere except here. Well, actually the whole country except New York. And then after a while, I want to say Rodney O. Joe Cooley dropped F New York, right? And it was sort of like, whoa, they said it, but you know, it was true shit they were talking about. And then Ice Cube dropped, you know, Bow Down, West Side Connection. That album, goddamn, that's a classic, bro. Like, hell, what a fucking album, right? Like, the worst song on that is probably Bow Down. Everything else is just amazing. Classic. But anyhow, you know, and then Pac said, you know, fuck Nas, fuck, you know, whoever he said, fuck Jay-Z. I was like, fuck him. And I was, you know, I was West because you know, I grew up West. I was hip hop. And then I felt like, so like, damn, East, why can't you show the love? We're giving you all this love and you're just not giving it back. So then, you know, all the artists spoke for how I felt. And I was like that for a minute. But, you know, that's in the past. Fast forward, you know, I go back now and listen to a lot of shit I just didn't listen to because, you know, I was like, nah, West, fuck, you know, everything else. And now, man, there's a lot of shit I missed on, you know, a lot of shit I slept on with Nas. And Nas is doing a lot of stuff recently. I don't know if you know this, but I mean, he's dropping albums left and right.
Hit Boy, he's doing a lot of stuff with Hit Boy.
Yeah. People are pissed that he's not working with Premier, but it is what it is, man. Accept it and enjoy it.
Nas has always gotten that rap for a bad rap for saying, like, as dope as he is, they say he doesn't like never get the right beats. You know what I mean, or certain things. Back. You know what I mean?
You know, I mean, there's something to that. You know, for sure. There's some. You know, Nas could do
but obviously he likes what he likes because I'm sure he's heard that, and I'm sure he can get whatever beat he wants, but he still chooses the beats that he gets, right?
Exactly, and you hit the nail on the head. If Nas wants to work with whoever, I'm pretty sure he could
work with whoever he wants to.
Yeah, but he's got this cool dynamic with Hit Boy, and it's working. Man, this last album, I forget the name of the track, but there's a song on there that's just like, ooh. You know, he's great. And then, you know, I didn't give him a chance for so long because of Pac. But, you know, I was a big Pac guy, man. When he died, it was devastating.
Yeah. But,
all those unreleased albums, all those unreleased tracks. I remember I used to get all that stuff, man.
Yeah. Would you say though, cause speaking on the New York thing, right? Because you said you weren't fucking with New York for a minute, but
yeah,
you went back to the early stages. Everything you told me was early New York hip hop, because that's really what we had.
Look, Slick Rick's first album.
80s, so you weren't fucking with it mainly later when the 90s came, when all the bullshit happened?
Yeah. So when all the bullshit came across, I got it. I drank the Kool-Aid and I jumped in, and West Coast, we were making some music, right? So at the beginning we weren't. Well, it was just different. You know what I mean? We didn't have our own sound. We were trying to copy New York. Yeah, you listen to Ice-T's first album.
Until NWA came. Yeah. Ice-T was definitely East Coast. His whole sound from remember when he was in Breaking, he looked like Ice-T definitely had to find himself, but he found himself when he did in the morning Ryan Pay's album. I think that was it, But
we got to say King T though. We got to mention King T's first album. It was pure hip hop, but DJ Pooh put it. That West Coast sound was there. It wasn't gangster rap, but he did talk about Compton, Act the Fool. That's a gangster story. You know what I mean? That isn't.
Though, those album covers were classic. King T,
man, yes sir. And then fast forward, Notorious B.I.G. comes out saying, he modeled or a big inspiration was King T.
I heard that.
And you hear it after, like you hear that, and then you see it. Like, oh yeah, that's a real thing.
Definitely right. So shout out to Nas doing his thing. Who would you say was your most? Well, you said Dr. Dre in your bio was.
Well, I mean, because you can't deny the man.
Yeah, no, Dr. Dre is the man. Like you said, from top to bottom. When even before the shit took off, he was doing it with World Class Wrecking Crew. He had hits,
bro. Yes, sir.
So he did
before
it
that
level. He did it on every level. Production, rap. Even though he didn't write his shit, the way his delivery is unmatched. Like Dr. Dre,
it's quality, bro.
Yeah.
He's a quality guy. So, when he knows somebody can do something better for him, he's like, all right, I need you to do this part. And he delegates and he makes it perfect. And there ain't nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? He I don't know. He may get criticized. And he says, I didn't do everything. I have a great team around me.
Right.
And, and I don't know, but he's the
it don't work. And I've heard a lot of people like Daz, a lot of people, say they took that Dre, whatever. But even if you look at, like they say, the Dog Food album, which they say Daz produced, but Dre mixed Dre. You don't get that sound without Dre, brother.
Yeah.
That's what made
Dude, I heard
the sound, just like the Chronic. The sound is like Dr. Dre is a sound perfectionist. Like,
yes, sir.
That sound is you don't get that anywhere, bro.
That sonic is that crisp sound. It's a Dre. I want to say I saw so back in the day I used to always go on dubcnn.com and all that, and I remember the big thing was Daz did a lot of beats, that Dre just took credit for, and then Snoop came out and said, look, I'm tired of this, and he basically said, yes, I think was it Ain't No Fun? Don't quote me. I don't know which song it was, but Snoop was like, yes, Daz did it, but Dre produced it. He's like, Dre brought it to life. It's like, the song was there, but it wasn't the song till Dre touched it.
Exactly.
Dre is it's like, okay, that's cool, but
that's
Dre
doctor,
makes
man.
you.
That's the doctor.
Man. That's the good doc.
So that's why he's the doctor. And like you said, you don't get that sound. Daz, I know he did a lot of shit, but you don't get that sound. Great. That's
respect to Daz, by the way. Respect. Mad love for Daz.
But you don't get that sound without Dre. And obviously,
listen to that Kendrick album, the first one on Aftermath. Dre didn't touch it. I think Dre produced one song on the bonus, whatever. Listen to how that sounds. Dre may not have produced it, but you can hear that Dre touched that whole album. Dre blessed that album.
That's what I think respected, not respected. Everyone knows Dre, period, all the way around. But I think now, like you said, the people that know give him more respect for, like you said, it sounds bigger than the production. You know what I mean? It's that sound, as a whole, where Dre is credited for, like Quincy Jones, man. You don't get that Can't get that anywhere. You know, so
Quincy Jones, yes, sir.
yeah,
He's up there with Quincy Jones.
Yes, and I've heard so much, and of course we all heard so
I'd
much
say he
about
surpassed.
Quincy, right? But I did not know until more recently, really all the work he's done. Like I've heard his name all the time, but I was unaware of how much what Quincy has done. Quincy has produced a lot of shit, man, back in the day.
Yeah, man.
I was unaware.
I can't front. I won't say I know, but I do know that it's staggering, and I have gone down that rabbit hole where it's like, oh shit, he produced this too. He's touched so many things. I mean,
I like Dre too.
Yeah.
They say that about Quincy work with more people, not solely him, but I think he has the more of the Dre thing too. To whatever he touches though,
right on.
he puts his hands on it. You know.
Hey, his son's been doing big things for a minute. Yeah. DD3. I mean, yeah, he's his own entity. You know, that's the one bad thing, I guess, when you come from like a parent like Quincy Jones, you're always going to be compared to him, right. You know, which kind of sucks, but you know, you get it. That's human nature. But QD3, man, he should be proud of what he's done. I mean, hip hop wise,
yeah,
respect.
He's done a lot, you know. Shout out to QD3. Yes, who would you say, speaking on the West Coast, wait, before I ask you this, let me go back a little bit to the breaking, and because you mentioned Beat Street and all that.
Yeah.
We know the impact, like Little Easy, Lena. We know the impact Beat Street had. What do you think about coming back to the West Coast, the impact a movie like Breaking had, you know, at that same time, a little bit later, even though it was more commercial, but what did you think about the impact Breaking had? We know what Beat Street had on us, but Breaking, the impact, if any, and I ain't gonna speak on Breaking 2, but Breaking 1,
Electric Boogaloo,
that shit was, you know, but Breaking, like, what impact did it have with the likes of Turbo and Ozone, some of those other homies that were in that movie?
I'll tell you this, I remember this. We had a viewing party of Breaking. It might have at my buddy's house. We were in elementary, and it was like such a big deal. Like we had this. Somebody had the VCR, and we watched it. It was like it was a big deal. No man, Breaking was monumental. Corny, you know. Was it pop, and did they sell out? Yeah, but we needed that back then because otherwise nobody would have watched it. You know what I mean? What was her name? Special K or some shit.
Special
you know,
K.
It was
Kelly.
You know,
Kelly, Special K.
Yeah. I was a kid back then, so I have fond memories of it. You know I tried watching it later on, and I was like, oh, I can't do this.
It's just corny. That's why we were going to mention part 2, because I was really corny.
It was terrible. Yeah.
But still, as corny as it was, and Hollywood as it was, because that's just Hollywood. Hollywood never gets it right, even though Hollywood is Hollywood. They're in our backyard, but it seems like they never got it right with the street stuff. When they're trying to make movies, LA stuff, they just don't get it right. Yeah. So it's corny in Hollywood as it was. It still had certain parts in there, like the dance scenes, the battle scenes. You know, when and the other homie, I'm sorry, I want to get his name wrong. He passed away recently. The Latino popper, but all those great dancers in there that still made the movie what it was, you know, and Radiotron and things of that nature. So
there was a lot of elements in there.
Ice-T was in there.
Sir.
So it was a lot. Go ahead.
Yeah, there was a lot of great elements in that for sure. But so that got me going, right? And then I want to say Gem on It was another track that made me like, oh shit, okay. You know, there was always these songs where, you know, but once the Beastie Boys and Run DMC and then Public Enemy came into my life, forget it. It was over. And then NWA, actually, I'll tell you a quick story. My dad goes to the swap meet one day, and him and I, we didn't have the greatest relationship. Right. But he was trying to be like, okay, how can I connect? You know, because I know my son likes hip hop. He was at the swap meet, and he's like, here, I bought you this tape. And he brings me this swap meet mixtape, you know what I mean? But he's like, it's that stuff you like, you know? And then I still have it. And it's like, it had Boys in the Hood. That's the first time I legit heard cussing like that on a record. Right. You know, it was like, whoa. And it had that. It had Dope Man. It had Get It Girl, but it had the remix version, this long extended one. It had Cabbage Patch from from work
World Class
Wrecking Crew had
Yeah.
surgery. So it was a rap and funk compilation '87 or something, But that was like, I just remembered when I heard, Boys in the Hood, I was like, what the hell is this?
Right.
And then I have the cassette single to it is it's Easy Does It, and then the flip side it has Radio, but on that cassette single it's got the Compton is in the House, the OG version. On the album it's got the remix. The only place you'll find the actual version is on the cassette, because the LP had
Compton in the House was so hard back then that
yes sir
different. But go ahead, bro.
No, I was just saying. So I have the original Compton in the House. It's hard to find. The only way you can have it if you have this cassette single, and I was just mentioning I have it, and he's actually dissing Master Rhyme in there, so some local fool, and nobody, it's funny because he got dissed so hard and nobody even knows it.
Right. But piggybacking on that, Easy Does It, Easy NWA, but Easy came first. But
yes, sir.
Totally just changed again when they came with that. Like you said, that was a whole new everything, new sound, new shit.
It was L.A.
I seen, it was everything we've been like waiting on. We didn't know.
Yeah.
It was like, whoa. That's why I think it broke out so big, because that told the L.A. story. Like,
yes,
no one heard it like that before. You heard 6 in the morning Ice-T, but this shit was like on a whole different level, bro. Production.
Schoolie D apparently was doing it, but we didn't know. Actually, on that mixtape, it had Schoolie D too, Gucci Time or something. Yeah. But it didn't hit like Eazy-E did. Eazy-E just blew up. It was just sort of like, what the hell is this?
First time you heard it, it was like, whoa. I know the first time I heard that shit, I was like, that was it. Easy, man.
Dude, my dad handed me the cassette, so I was like, I'm gonna play this loud. And, he was doing whatever, and I'm playing it loud, and I'm like, holy shit, I had to turn it off right away, because it was like, he's going to take this shit away as soon as he hears what it's saying, And then later on, he was like, how'd you like it? Oh, no, it's great, Dad. I never did know, man. That was life-changing for sure. There was nothing like that on the radio. There was nothing like that anywhere. Yeah, it was just like the homie right here down the street cursing on a record.
And that's why I think Easy took, even though NWA's impact was bigger, but Easy just coming out the gate solo. Yeah. Easy, man. It was like you said, nothing we heard, but it was like everything we heard, but never heard like that on tape or wax.
Yeah. I couldn't wait for the next one. Radio came out. I couldn't wait for everything they did. It was just like, hell yeah. They were just pushing the envelope. It's just like every little thing. On Ruthless Villain, I think, Dre, and then Yella starts to drum. They were just thinking out the box, doing little shit like, maybe nobody else noticed that, but for me, I was just like, man, I was loving it. I was, man, they were the greatest. Yeah, and then when they broke up, it killed me. When Ice Cube left, I was like, no, but I loved it. It was cool, the whole beef, but it was terrible at the same time.
Hated the beef, but we love the music. Like you said, we could have did without we didn't really get, the music was so, even though like you said, Ice Cube left, you were like, whoa, what's gonna happen? But WA came right back with, I think, 100 Miles and Running, so it was like, okay. But then Ice Cube came with his solo. It was, America's Most Wanted. I was like, wow.
Wow. And it was weird, Bomb Squad produced that. It was a West Coast cat with an East Coast sound.
Yeah.
It was different, you know what I mean?
But it worked. Ice Cube was so powerful at that time. It was like, you know what I mean? It was different because you heard the East Coast shit, but they had the West Coast shit infused with it. So you still had the samples, doom, doom, doom. But it was just mixed. And then at the same time, Public Enemy was so powerful too. So we still love that because that was the Public Enemy sound. You feel me? So it was all good.
I think that's why it got accepted the way it did, because it was the Bomb Squad. Right, and this is PE. This is there.
Yeah.
Right. Like he went to, it was almost like Take Notice, but it was weird. It wasn't what you expected. I remember the first time I heard that. I was at the Saga swap meet, and like, you know, the new Ice Cube album came out, and I was like, let me hear this shit, and he's playing it, and I'm like, whoa, what? The sound is just
Different.
It's just different.
Right.
Yeah, it's just different. Sort of like when I first heard Drop It Like It's Hot. Like, I don't know about this shit.
Me
You know,
too,
eventually
bro. I
it
was
grows
like,
on you.
this sounds commercial as fuck. Even though
What the fuck? Yeah.
I loved it because that was in the first time, I don't know, ever gave like Snoop his number one. You know, even though he had all this shit, that was his first number one. So I'm like, okay, you know what I mean? I was all, but I'm like you. I was like, it grew on me though. But I was like, you know, I was happy for him though, because it was a big hit and he needed that at the time. So it was all.
So that was Ice Cube, you know, and he comes out with the Bomb Squad. But eventually, man, I loved it. I memorized it. It, you know, the Ninja, You Love to Hate.
Yeah.
Man, good Lord. Good Lord, what a song.
That's my favorite song on that album, probably.
Yes, sir. Easily. And what an album, right? But
you know, if you listen, say like somebody new, you gotta love hip hop first, and you gotta love Ice Cube. Even now, go back and listen to that album and get what you get from it, because it's still gonna sound different. Even now, if you put it on, it may be too much for some people. Like, this is like, you know what I mean?
You gotta think, this is a young Ice Cube. Yeah. Right? I mean, what? He was still in his teens, maybe? I don't think he was in his 20s when he dropped it. Yeah, and it's like, he was just so mature for his age. God knows I wasn't that kid. I didn't know half of the shit they were rapping about. You know, it's like, I learned through hip hop. You know, I grew up through hip hop.
Cube was, I think,
hip hop taught me a lot.
I think, it did for us all. But I think you said it right there. Cube was very mature for his age, because if you go back and look, as gangster and hard as Cube wasn't no gangster. He wasn't no gangbanger or none of that. He grew up around it, but he wasn't none of that. He was going to school. He was even going to college. Even, you know, that what shows you the knowledge he had to make the moves he did, because he was a little smarter. But I say all that to say, as hard as Cube was, like you said, okay, it wasn't, you know what I mean? So that just says he was mature, I guess, like you said, for his age, to do what he did, because I don't know, man. But he wasn't a gangbanger and all that. You know what I mean?
He wasn't a gangbanger. You know, he hung out with them, and, you know, the lynch mob would give him stories and whatnot. And you hear that but even those guys give him crazy love.
You would have thought Cube was a great story. The stories he told and how prolific they were. Like, you would have think he really, you know what I mean?
Yeah. That requires talent, you know, to anyone can tell you. Everybody tells you stories, right? But who can make it rhyme and make a song and just make an impact the way Ice Cube? You got to give that man credit. Like, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. He might not have lived it, but he was connected, and he translated it so perfect that you felt it. And then, you know, look, I ain't no gangbanger, but you know, you grew up in it, you know, and you know your homies, and I have a lot of homeboys that were connected, and you know, and you know, a lot of these scary guys, I'm just glad they're on my side, type of deal, you know what I mean? But I mean, that's what I grew up in, that's what I know, and this music just talked to me, you know. So that's why West Coast just, like, I grew up with Golden Era as a kid, innocent. But then when I became an adolescent, and then the West Coast just took over, and then, you know, now just angry, and then it's just, I just love that shit, that angry, you know. It's weird, but I'm a positive guy. I'm a super positive. Kill the noise. Let's keep it positive. Who cares what anyone is saying? Like, we're better than that. I'm that guy. But hip hop, when it's like angry, oh, give me that shit. When Pac did Hit Him Up, oh my goodness, you know. Oh my goodness!
I remember when they first played that shit on the radio, bro. I was like, on 92 point, I think Julio, somebody on the afternoon Theo, maybe, I don't know, but they played that. I was like, wow. Yeah, just mouth drop.
Recently on Rock the Bells, they played it, you know, and Grandmaster Caz, OG legend, he plays it, and then, you know, he played it to the completion, and it ends, and, you know, at the end, Tupac is rambling, cursing everybody out, you know what I mean? And it just, there's like a long pause, and Caz is just like, wow. Because it's like you listen to it and he's just like, wow. He didn't say nothing else. He's just like, damn. All right, and he goes on, but it's because Pac was just, man, we got robbed, bro. Like the shit he could have done. I wonder how he would have become.
That's my thing too. He was so. That's what made Pac so great too. That people don't understand. He was so young. What 20?
Yeah, he was a kid.
25. Come on, man. At
26 or something. 25. Yeah.
25. I was still. Come on, man. We had a long way to go. You know what I mean? Pac already there. 25, 21, 22. The shit he was doing way back then, so so to do all that at that young age, of course, so of course it was a lot of mistakes and a lot of, because Pac was trying to find himself, so he made a lot of mistakes, but the things he did at such a young age, man, was incredible.
Man, incredible for sure. Just the whole story is sad, but an incredible talent, and a lot of people just, they hear a few songs and they dismiss him, and it's like, no, he was bigger than that. It is sad. People just like, was he the greatest rapper? No, but he was one of the most impactful for sure.
That's what I said. He had the most impact, and that's what, that's why I don't get caught up in all that.
That following he had was just enormous. But then Biggie too. I wanted to hate Biggie, but Biggie had hits.
You can't
hate Biggie. Yeah,
and I think it's sad that because look, almost like Biggie's like a casualty almost of war. I hate to say it, you know what I mean, from being caught up with Pac and all the way around, because everything that you mentioned, Big, like no disrespect to Big, but it's a gift and a curse because they put Big up. Big is considered every time you mention Pac, they mention Big or vice versa. So Big is put there for good, for better or for worse, because obviously it's. For worse, he lost his life. He's being caught up in some shit, right? But at the same time, he gets put there on the same pedestal as Pac. At the same time, so it's sad, but I don't know which way to take it.
It is fucked up that you can't mention one without mentioning the other. It is kind of fucked up because
right. I respect it, but I don't like that because every time, so it's almost like they're being compared. You know what I mean? And
they are
different artists, man. But
it's completely different.
They're always put together.
Yeah. No, man, I agree. Man, I agree with you 100% on that. And it's fucked up forever. That's how it's going to be. And actually, the longer it goes on, the less that people are going to remember how different they were. It's just going to become like, Pac, Biggie. So that's kind of why I do my page. I'm new to this. To remind people, or I just look at music differently. So I just say things and I word it in a way where it's sort of like, if you know what I'm saying, then I'm talking to you. And if you don't know what the fuck I'm saying, then I'm not talking to you. And I'm okay with that. Some guys are trying to get all these followers and I'm not. I'm just trying to keep it. Whoever feels me. Because then, once you start crossing over, then you get a bunch of cats commenting stupid shit. And it's like, who are you? And what do you don't even know what I'm talking about. So in a way, I'm glad that I'm sort of, I'm still underground. A few, I like that. I don't want to be popular.
Talk about your page and your blog or blog. Talk about what you do with your page. I ain't new to this and what it's all about.
Thanks. So what I do with I ain't new to this, well, basically, I used to bore the shit out of people talking about, we listen to music and I just have a lot of useless trivia, right? So then a song would be playing and, hey, did you know this and this and this? Hey, did you? And then, nobody cares. So then once social media became a thing, I'm like, well, you know what? Maybe somebody on social media will care. And it also helped me. So it's like, you know what? I have all this that I'm just dying to share. Let me just put it out there and then it's out there. You know what I mean? So then basically that's what I started doing. And at the same time, I became I started my photography passion. So I basically fused the two together. And, I started taking pictures of my cassettes. I have a big cassette collection. I got maybe 500-600 cassettes from back in the day.
You actually have the real...
I got the OG
cassettes with the covers and the whole
I have the OG cassettes. Most of them I bought on the release date. I have like the day it dropped. Like I got the Chronic the day it dropped. I got like all the cassette. I have a shit ton
I
of
don't even
cassettes.
think I ever owned a cassette of the Chronic. I had the CD, bought it a few times, but the cassette, because by that
I got the cassette. I have the day it dropped, I bought it. So I have all these cassettes, and I just started taking pictures, and then next thing you know, I'm editing, and I'm just like, it's like, what do I want to talk about this cassette?
I know, right?
It might be a song, it might be a lyric, it might be, whatever. But it's sort of like I have a lot to share, so it's sort of that's what I do. I just
let me go back to this. I just still can't believe you have the cassette to the Chronic. So it does the cassette, does it have like the same cover? How does the like the CD had the leaf on there? How does the cassette or the cover?
It's the same thing. It's the cassette with it. It's got the what is it? The zigzag cover, whatever. And then on the inside, it had a sleeve, and it would open up. And I think he's on the 64.
That was classic.
Yeah, and that blue. Yeah. So it's got that. Next time or whatever, I'll show you. I've got a lot of that stuff. But yeah, I got the OG cassette still.
That's dope, homie. I've been trying to get back up on my vinyl collection.
Yeah.
Myself, I would love to have some cassettes, but I think that would be hard to find now if you don't already have them already.
Cassettes are a bitch. Unless they're reissued, they're impossible. Like I'm looking for the Mexican Seed cassette. Yeah. It's their second album. It's impossible to find. If anybody has it, hit me up. I'll buy it from you. But yeah. It's a thing, man. Cassettes, it's not very big. It is in vinyl.
Right.
But if you know type
of shit. Yeah, if you can have your cassette, and then you got your component sets too. You got your setup with your tape.
I wish I did. I sold a lot of you got to move, you get divorced, you got to sell shit.
Right.
But I'm in the process of getting my
cassette. You gotta have that. That'll kill it, bro.
I thought so. The cassette that I kept, the cassette player took a dump, so it's sort of like, goddamn, I sold the wrong one. But I mean, it's not a big deal. It's just all I need is a cassette player. But I have a massive amount of cassettes, and I still got CDs.
Hard to find online, or is it a lot online? Have you looked for like buying cassette component sets?
Yeah. You can buy this. You can buy them online. It's just sort of like I just got to do it.
Right.
I mean, yeah.
But I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good, man. I talk too much. You cut me off whenever.
You just have me thinking about the cassette thing. Like I might look into that. But go ahead.
No. I don't know what you want me to say. The cassettes is just it's my thing. But I do CDs. Unfortunately, most of the time when they drop new music, it's CD, and that's if they even make a CD. Nowadays it's a bitch to even buy tangible music. You gotta download everything, and I'm not a big fan of that. I like to have something. Something I can look at, read the story, who produced it, who took the picture, the record label, all that shit. I love that, and that's what's missing.
You don't get
today.
that anymore, with the digital.
No, man.
It's like a gift and a curse because the like you said, you can't physically hold it, look at it, and all that. But of course, the flip side is it's there at your disposal. It's easier, you can have it saved or whatever. No scratches.
Yeah.
I get that. But like you said, to actually physically,
but as long as you have a connection.
Yeah, because if you don't got no connection, you out of gas.
We went camping this last week, and it was like,
right,
nothing worked.
You're right about that.
Yeah,
you don't got no connection. You out of there, buddy.
Yeah.
But speaking on that, look. Speaking how we spoke on the old school cassettes and to CDs, and I remember when CDs came, and I was like, wow, you know what I mean? And then now CDs are a thing of the past, right? But
crazy.
Speaking of old and new, what do you think about? We got 50 years of hip hop. Hip hop was, I don't know now. They said this is the first time in years hip hop has took a real decline. I think this past year, right? But it was the number one genre. Yeah, it's been a number one genre, all this. But I'm only saying that to say, speaking from old to new, what do you think about the current state of hip hop and how, a lot of the stuff we got out there now, man?
I'll keep it real. I don't really know. I try here and there to follow. At first I was very negative about it, and then enough. A lot of the old school cats were like, no, give these guys a break. We were there before, and just because you didn't understand it didn't mean it sucked. Type of thing.
They said,
you know what I mean?
Back in the day, what bullshit? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I had to do the same thing. I had to not adapt, but understand more that, hey,
Yeah.
everything before you or whatever, but people, it's just what it is, and no one's ever going to be on the same page. And that same thing happened back in the day with what we like, older
Right.
people, whoever didn't like it.
And I think it's okay that I don't like the music my kids like. I don't think I'm supposed to like the music they like. You know what I mean? So, do I respect it? I'm getting there. I respect a lot of it now, more of it, and it is what it is. Do I think it's not creative as much, and it's sort of like mindless? And I mean, the substance isn't what it used to be. However, there are here and there's some gems in there. So it's not my cup of tea, but the silver lining in this is that there's a lot of old school hip hop artists that are making new music.
Right.
MC8 drops albums galore.
Active.
Holy hell. You know what I mean? And then DJ Quick dropped a song called Class not too long ago, and I thought, I'm waiting
for it. That shit was hard.
Right? I listened to it. I still listen to it. I'm waiting. I thought it was like a
came out of nowhere.
Song.
It came out of nowhere. I'm like, what is this? That shit was hard.
It is amazing. Actually, on a side note, I was just listening to Second to None. I just heard the album. They dropped one.
They're gonna be on the show in a couple weeks. So
no shit. I'll listen.
Thank you. Yeah, but go ahead.
So they just dropped an album, and I was listening to it, and their first track is called Compton Music, and I just found it interesting that they mentioned King T, Mixmaster Spade, Eazy-E. They didn't mention Quick. So that's all I'm saying. That was interesting. On a track called Compton Music. And I mean, if that doesn't tell you everything, man.
Yeah. The song is hard. I know the song you're talking about. That's a song. But them and Quick have their ups and downs. I think they're
Quick with everybody, bro.
Have their ups and downs. Yeah, Quick is kind of a diva. I'm gonna just say it in so many words. Quick is great and all that, but Quick can kind of be like a diva sometimes. But shout out to Quick. But
shout out to Quick. I love that man. Yes, sir.
The greatest. Top 3. Him, Dre, Quick, Battle Cat for me.
Oh, yes, sir. Battle Cat. Thank you.
Come on now.
Oh, hell yeah. Battle Cat. Good Lord. West Coast. What do you call that? Royalty.
All of it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, shout out to Battle Cat. Talk about photography and so where did tell us about the photography side. Like, what have you done? Like, what made you get into that? And I know who your inspirations are, but tell us what you've done with this photography and video editing. I don't know if you do videos or you just edit, but tell us about this whole side on the photography.
I do the video. You know what I mean? I miss my call. I think I miss my calling. I'm good at listening to music and putting it to a feeling. And I realize I can do that now. I'll put an emotion. I'll put a certain song to make you feel a certain way. But yeah, it's what I do. My photography, and it's sort of like it's a passion I discovered late in life that I guess I always knew I had, but I didn't give myself credit for. And you get to a point where it's like, I'm not getting any younger. Let's just do this. And now I'm doing it. And now I know it's like, God damn, if I only started earlier, I would be so much further in the game. You know what I mean? But I'm glad I got to this point, and I want to say it actually helped me get to here talking to you, because my photography is what, you got to get creative. Everybody takes a picture of their cassette. Everybody's taking a picture of their CD and then playing and then posting something. Everybody's doing that. But I don't want to be everybody. You know what I mean? I'm going to do something different. I want to make you think. I'm going to post something that is going to make you think. And if you don't think about it, then I wasn't talking to you. And that's cool. No disrespect. But what's cool is when I get DM'd and they're like, yo, I saw that. I got that little reference. I got that little tiny little, hey, I saw that little bump. And I do that all the time. You know what I mean? And it's like most of the time it goes unnoticed. I want to say 95% of the time people don't know what I'm doing. But when it does get noticed, it's cool. Tony G is a big guy that follows me. And it's kind of, I'm flabbergasted whenever I get a like or when I get, you get that validation.
Right.
It's like, good Lord, that's the man right there. You know what I mean? Tony A too, Julio G, a ton of producers. I want to say producers really love me because I showcase them and I talk about them, you know, because it's they're the ones that actually did the work. And so did the artist. You know, don't get me wrong, I'm not disrespecting any artist by no means, but the producer for sure, you know, they're the unsung hero in a lot of the music, you know. I mean, it just
exactly. A lot of the shit is produced. You know, they make it happen.
Yeah. You know, and
not to say, I mean, it's collective, but producer does a lot. You know, just making that shit happen. You know.
Yeah, that feeling that, hey, you know, maybe the cadence should be this way or whatever. You know, and it's like, you know, so I give love to, you know, whenever I post something, I'll give, I always make sure to notice, I will note the album, I'll note the record label, the year it dropped, and the producer, you know, and I'll always make sure to, if I can, to give that kind of credit, and I will hashtag it, and if, you know, when I'm dead, you hashtag some random producer, I hope it's there, you know what I mean, and you see it like, oh shit, I didn't know he did that.
Right.
So,
right.
And it's just my way of giving to hip hop. I ain't nobody. I ain't shit. You know what I mean? But I do know a lot of hip hop. I don't know everything, and I don't claim to know everything, but I do know a lot.
You know a lot. Just my conversation with you, like everything you touched on. Like, I mean, like I'm the same way. I don't know a lot. I don't know it all, but I do know I love hip hop and grew up. You know what I mean? So a lot of this shit, and everything, I comprehend. You know what I mean? It was like, wow, you know, right there, because that's all.
I feel, likewise, brother. I appreciate this, man.
The cardboard, man. That's why I said, yeah, he a real one. You know what I mean? So it's been a lot.
Yes, sir.
Say, shout out to Wicked Ways. What up, Spanks? But what would you say out of all you do, from the music to the photography, you know, blogging, things you do, which one would you say you like the most, that gets the most of your attention?
Well, so I got to mention my club, the Flojos. The Flojos is this little truck club from the San Fernando Valley, and we've grown. It was established in 1985. I'm a 30-year member this year.
Wow.
And, you know, yeah, man. And it's like we were doing our own little thing, you know what I mean? Minding our own business. And you know, I was president for a minute. And now the new president, Moises, he's wonderful. Anyhow, we got inducted into the Mini Truck Hall of Fame in 2018, which was a big fucking deal. We're the 7th club inducted. All the other clubs are like multi-chapter, you know, they're all over the place. We're just this little club from the Valley. However, we have members in Bakersfield, Palmdale, Lancaster, Cal City, somewhere up there. Sorry, Anthony. Then East Vale, like Whittier, all over. But so we've been getting bigger. And after I became president, they're like, I became a media team member. So there's where I did my photography and my hip hop thing. So like a lot of my videos are hip hop, you know, and it's funny because I know nobody knows these songs, you know what I mean? But I'll put hip hop to all my shit. Not always, you know, sometimes I'll throw some Spanish rock in there, some rock, whatever. But most of the time it's hip hop. And it's like, I don't know, I love it. I get to showcase my trucks, I get to play my hip hop, and I get to do my photography, and I do my own little thing. And it's like, you know, and then my hashtag is #Irwin Shot It. ER-1, Irwin Shot It. So that's my name. You know, you were saying ER-1, it's Irwin. You know, and so Irwin Shot It. That's my shit, and it's sort of you know, it's getting bigger, and it's kind of cool, and it's just basically, you know, you're shooting videos too, like if people, because you're putting your info out there, people want to get shoot a video. Yeah. So my shit right now is automotive photography. I love automotive photography, so that's what I want to do. I've done a few magazine shoots. I've done a couple of shoots. I've done I did some artistic. I did a Futura shoot. I've done a lot of shit. But yeah, man, hit me up if you want a nice picture of your car. Say you have a nice car, or if it's a shitty car, I'll make it look like a magazine worthy vehicle. You know, if you want to, if you know, just hit me up. You want to do something on your social media, you want to do a quick little video, I can do that for you.
Right.
if it's hip hop related, even better. That's where I flourish. That's where I'm. You want to do something G-Funk? Let's do it.
Right. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Erwin shot it.
Yes, sir.
Anything else you want to put out there, or speak about that we did not touch on, or that we missed, or anything you want to?
Oh man, no, but I'd love to come back one day and then maybe we talk about hip hop tapes. I'll bring out my tapes and we'll just chop it up, man.
Yeah, that would be dope. We could bring the tapes out, or we could go over like the tapes and check them out.
I can quiz you, or I could. Yeah, yes, sir. Let's do it.
Like that. Yeah, I'm with it.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for the time to just listen and talk, and I'm shocked that you even I'm here, but I'm grateful, I'm thankful, and I appreciate what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing, man, and I'll see you at the top.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Man, thank you, brother. Great conversation. I appreciate you and respect you as well. Your
likewise.
Your history on hip hop and just the whole culture. We had a great conversation, and man, I love to have conversations like that. So I
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Me too. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, sir. And tell them one more time all your handles so they can go follow you or get at you for business or whatever.
Yes, sir. So follow me at I Ain't New to This with the number 2. Follow me at Erwin ER_1 and 2 underscores. Just hit Erwin Mojica. If you want to find me, I'm also on Erwin Mojica Media. I do photography for anything you want, an event. If you want some Christmas photos, I'm really busy during the holidays that's coming up. Just hit me up. You know what I mean? I just want to say thank you to G-Lew, and thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. And hopefully I'm back one day.
Oh, yeah, you're definitely coming back, homie.
Yes, sir. Thanks, homie.
More about hip-hop. So thank you again. Follow the homie. He gave you all of his handles. We had a great show. We'll come back in 1 minute to wrap it up.
Thanks, G.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Peace.
Peace. We'll be right back.
Goddamn, homie, here we go again. I know I said it before, but I'ma say it again. It's G-Lew, D West on that digital G shit. Just like Corrupted, we coming to freak this. Just like Heathcliff, I'm a cool cat. In a doggy-dog world, why must I be like that? I don't know why, seems I gotta stay fly. And after so many years in the game, I'm still that guy. All these haters try, but they still can't see G. Started from the bottom, now I stand like 6 feet tall. Couldn't wait my chance to ball. Went from banging in the halls to slanging 8 balls. Then I got the call. It's time to take this shit to another level, so I had to fall back. Now I'm on track to be the hood's best ever. And I knew in due time shit would get better. Now I'm on the grind like 20 years later. 20 albums deep and I'm 20 times greater. D West on the beat and I'm on a crossfader. This is how it's supposed to sound when you a player. And that's how you supposed to frown when you a hater. Looking all mad cause you fucked up your paper. While I'm looking suave like Tony.
Check it out, people. Thanks again to the homie for tuning in tonight. ER-1. Thanks everybody who joined us tonight. Watch the show. Thank you for the love. Tomorrow night we'll be back. DD show, Conversations in the Hook Lounge with DD and Straight Shooter. And then Sunday, we'll be back for Oldies Rule Forever with G-Lew and the beautiful May Love. And with that being said, I got a new mix I'm dropping tomorrow too. So check that out. Check out all the past mixes that I dropped because they're dope. People loving them. I dropped the Sugar Free yesterday. It's classic. So with that being said, we out of here. Peace, love, and respect. Everyone have a great night. On it.